Hello, television family. We're back at it in the middle of the week, Wednesday, 5th day of November, 2025. I'm Dan Kuntz, and you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. The sun's been up for about 10 minutes, but you wouldn't know it by looking behind me at our Wenatchee Heights camera. It is still raining. It has been raining steadily, sometimes lightly, sometimes pretty hard, but it hasn't really stopped raining since about 8:30 last night. I got up about 2 this morning, not on purpose, I just did. The rain actually woke me up, and I went outside on my front porch, and it was coming down hard. It's still raining. It's raining lightly. We've had over a half an inch of rain since 8:30 last night. And for us, that's a lot of rain, and we're not done yet. We're going to see a little bit more rain today. I'll walk you through the entire timeline. Basically, hit and miss rain until Friday morning. The next round of significant rain coming down at a pretty good clip, is going to be tomorrow night, but we're still going to be in a wet pattern until we get to the weekend. Your soggy forecast is coming up. I don't mind the rain at all. Actually, it feels pretty good. The more the merrier. Obviously, election results will dominate our news, let you know how the local candidates and issues did in our area. That'll lead off our newscast. We'll have quite a bit of sports to get to as well. Seahawks playing pretty good. We're liking this. We're liking this a lot. Arizona Cardinals, a division rival, comes to town. Well, not here in Wenatchee. They don't play. They play in Seattle, but we'll have that in sports. My interview portion of the back half of the program, my good friend Nick Kali, the musical director and conductor of the Wenatchee Valley Symphony Orchestra, and Anton Zotoff is the executive director of the Wenatchee Valley Symphony Orchestra. We have some incredible talent here in North Central Washington, people who really know how to play their instruments, and they play it good. Nick is the conductor and the musical director. He's the one who decides what pieces to play during their concert season. Their next performance, by the way, is in March. They did the Star Wars show last week. It was really good. Anton handles all the stuff that Nick doesn't want to do. That'll come up in the back half of the program. Let's take our tour around the valley, see what we got. There's the Heights camera. Again, low clouds and fog. The rain continues to fall. We'll have a brief lull in the middle of the day today. So the rain timeline is we're going to have some light rain until about 9. Then we'll probably dry out a little bit. There's the Lake Chelan area. That's the Lower Butte camera, I believe. You can see the Three Fingers. You can see the marina. You can see Chelan. We have 2 cameras on the Chelan Butte, one at the very summit, about 4,200 feet above sea level. That's the Lower Butte camera, slightly lower in elevation and slightly closer to Chelan proper, but they're socked in as well with low clouds and fog and light rain. We led the rain parade. Nobody in our viewing area got more than we got yesterday. That's Valley High on your way up to Blewett Pass. Go Valley High. They have a big playoff game this weekend. The fighting pancake eaters. I don't know what their mascot is of Valley High. There is no Valley High. No Valley High. Anyway, and we haven't used this one in a long time. This is the Cascadian. Looking south, there's the big tower as they continue to build the Widener apartment complex. That's going to be big, 7 stories, just basically not too far from where we're sitting. A great view there. Obviously, the streets are wet. There have been a few instances of the storm drains getting clogged up by leaves because we've had a lot of rain in a very short period of time, and that this is what's going to happen. I have a storm drain out in front of my house, and it was clogged with leaves. I cleaned it out, and it helped a lot getting rid of that stuff. Here's a radar synopsis from the National Weather Service. This is a timeline. We're going to play this for you 3 times over so you can take a look. So basically, the rain timeline for the rest of this rainy period: light rain in the valley until about 9 o'clock. Then we'll be fairly dry. Still some light rain, but it won't be coming down steadily from about 10 this morning until about 5 tonight. And then the chances of light rain overnight tonight through sunset tomorrow. The heaviest rain is expected tomorrow night into Friday morning as far as the next weather pattern. As we've talked about before, this is not one big, strong trough of rain coming our way. It's a series of storms. The biggest one is already beginning to exit our area. That's the one that's been giving us all this rain. And again, we don't see this very often. It's been raining nonstop, sometimes light, sometimes heavy, since 8:30 last night. We've had over half an inch of rain. If you're going to be at 4,000 feet or above traveling the mountain passes, things could get a little dicey on Thursday. Stevens Pass 2 to 5 inches. It's going to go down right about 4,000 feet. It's going to be the snow level on Thursday on Stevens Pass. If you're taking Washington Pass, the North Cascades Highway, a lot of snow today in the afternoon and tomorrow and through the weekend. They may actually just pull the plug and say to heck with it, drop the gates and close Highway 20, the North Cascades Highway. The other passes that are heavily traveled, Blewett, Loop, I-90, they're going to be below snow level, but it's time to start talking about some measurable snow anyway in the Cascades. Your 7-day forecast brought to you by Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee, where comfort, care, and community come together. Rain until about 9, maybe 10. Then we'll dry off. We'll top off at about 50 degrees, but we're still going to see some light rain for most of the morning hours here today. Then it comes back after 10 o'clock tonight. About a 60% chance of rain overnight tonight, 40 for the overnight low. That's very mild for this time of the year. Thursday, morning dry, afternoon rain. It's about an 80% chance of rain on Thursday. We'll top off at 54, and then the band of heavy rain will begin on Thursday night. It should taper off by sunrise on Friday, but tomorrow night is going to be a lot like overnight last night, quite a bit of measurable precipitation, and then finally we can start drying off. Lots of sunshine Friday. We'll see some clouds and fog Friday morning. By about 10 or so, it'll burn off. Days are getting pretty short, so it takes a little while for that to happen. But then sunshine and 54 degrees, and with no clouds at night, the overnight low is going to get pretty darn chilly. 32 for the overnight low on Friday night. If you're heading out to watch some football, you'll be dry, but you'll be cold unless you bundle up. Not a bad weekend. Lots of sunshine Saturday, right around normal, 51. Sunshine's going to have the upper hand for the most part on Sunday with a high of 53. We cloud back up and start talking about a little more rain perhaps on Monday. And of course, Tuesday is Veterans Day. Can't forget about that. Hopefully it won't rain on the parade right down the street from where we're sitting. We're going to take a 2-minute break because it's all we can afford. We have a lot to get to. The news is next, including election results. You're watching a Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
Tour Moses Lake just a gas tank away. With its abundance of outdoor activities, Moses Lake is a great place to visit. From fishing and boating to exploring the city's attractions, there is no shortage of things to do. Whether you're enjoying any one of the variety of restaurants with the family or an adventure-filled day with friends, Moses Lake has something for everyone. Tour moseslake.com and start your adventure today. Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Birthdays, office gatherings, and team parties taste better at Abby's. From our legendary lunch and Thirsty Thursday to our monthly Giant Special, there's always a reason to gather. Family-owned Abby's, your legendary pizza tradition. You asked, and it's back at Abby's. 2 legends, 1 pizza. Half pepperoni, half big Hawaiian. All delicious. It's mouthwatering, loaded with toppings, and happily feeds a family. Order at abbys.com before this legend disappears.
It's raining lightly, but it's still raining. 41 degrees. The rain will be tapering off mid-morning, 9:30 or 10 or so. Still lots of clouds, a couple of stray drizzles, and the rain returns with another good blast of it overnight tonight through Thursday before we finally see some sunshine and some dry conditions come Friday. It's 10 minutes after the hour. A crucial boost to the operating levy for the Eastmont Metro Parks and Recreation area appears poised to fail. as the general election came to a close on Tuesday. Yes votes trailing by more than 9% of the 3,515 votes that have been counted so far. The levy lift would boost the park's taxation rate for property owners from 15 cents to 22 cents per $1,000 of assessed value. Supporters say if the voters reject the measure, and right now it's not passing, consequences could include closing the Eastmont Aquatic Center, deactivating the just completed splash pad in Eastmont Community Park, and program cuts across the board. There are still about 2,500 votes to remain counted in Douglas County, but not necessarily all of those registered voters will live in that area. In local campaigns, Eastmont School Board member Jason Hines, he looks like he's likely to keep his seat for a second term, with challenger Kristen Larson receiving 1,489 votes. Hines got 1,791 in the first round. That is Jim Huffman. Okay, we'll go ahead and do the East Wenatchee City Council race. What does it look like right now? It is newcomer Paul Harrison, who's pulled down 777 votes, 67.8%. Nikki Darling, the other candidate, has 369 votes. That's an open East Wenatchee City Council race. There is incumbent Commissioner Jim Huffman and his challenger. He is a representative of the Douglas County side of the Chelan-Douglas Regional Port Authority. He's gotten 2,277 votes. He's running for re-election. He has 56.2% of the vote. His challenger, Mike Mackey, has 1,771 votes. As we mentioned already, it looks like Paul Harrison is going to win the open seat in the East Wenatchee City Council. The Wenatchee School Board saw one contested race, but it really wasn't a contested race. The other candidate, David Elwood, pulled out of the race, didn't campaign, threw his support to Caroline Siderius, but his name stayed on the ballot and he actually got votes. But Siderius got a lot more, 3,864 votes. Further results are scheduled to be posted by 4 this afternoon in Chelan County and tomorrow afternoon in Douglas County. Chelan County has about 1,258 ballots yet to count. Douglas County, as I mentioned already, has around 2,500 ballots yet to be counted. Turnout bad. In Chelan County, 25%. That'll go up a little bit. In Douglas County, just 16.5% of registered voters voted in the election. That number will go up, but not by much. There is other news. The Chelan-Douglas Community Action Council says it began to see some increased need last week as SNAP users prepared for the funding to come to an end. SNAP was set to completely lose funding on November 1st until 2 federal judges ruled that the government must use emergency funding to at least partially pay for the food aid program. The loss of SNAP funding is expected to put strain on food banks. According to data from U.S. Senator Maria Cantwell's office, there are about 14,000 SNAP clients in just Chelan and Douglas counties combined. The Community Action Council's Executive Director, Alan Walker, spoke to us about what he is expecting and how others can help meet the need.
I would say the majority, probably 75 to 80% of our people coming through our food pantry are working families. And they're just, at the end of the month, just don't have enough money left over to put groceries in the refrigerator and food on the table. But the vast majority are working families. Another large percentage are seniors living on a fixed budget. And as food prices escalate, their Social Security benefits are not keeping up with that. And it's heart-wrenching. We see lots of widows and widowers coming in here that are 75, 80, 85 years old and first time to visit a food pantry. And they're a little scared. Our volunteers and our staff are wonderful. They welcome people in with open arms and just say, we're here to help you. Thursday, we were hit pretty hard. And we had probably 25 to 30% more people come through on Thursday than we typically see. Close to 100 people. Usually we're around 70 to 75 people coming through on a given day. We're going to experience people that are going to really struggle just to put a bowl of cereal on the table for their kids of a morning. It's impacting school meal programs. It's impacting a lot of different things that people have been helped with. And it's a little bit scary in uncharted times for people. And we just want people to know that we're here to help. We will do all that we can to be sure that people are fed. We don't want people going hungry. We don't want kids going to school hungry. We don't want parents going to bed hungry at night and having to get up and go to work the next day. We do a continuous restocking. So we stock it obviously before the pantry opens, and then just kind of depending on the need, volunteers will restock it a couple more times while the pantry is open. We continue to restock it. So we try to make it so it really doesn't matter if you're the first person or the last person into the pantry. Your selection and opportunity is going to be equal. We limit certain items just because there's a limit to how much we have, and we want folks to have that equal opportunity. Just because you weren't the first one in the door doesn't mean that you don't have the same access. Canned pasta sauce goes very quickly. Peanut butter, those two things we see just go extremely quick. But we're really looking for canned goods, especially canned vegetables, canned soups, canned stews, canned other proteins like canned chicken. And then on the dry side, we're making a call out for pastas and rice, tortillas and cereals. And baby food and baby formula is certainly a high need, especially because that was one of the benefits with the SNAP program, to purchase those baby products as well. And so those are the things that we're really focusing on right now. They can bring it to us here at our location on 1700 North Wenatchee Avenue, just behind JetPro Auto Wash. They can drop it off here. We're here Monday through Thursday, 7:30 to 5:30.
Teachers and staff at Palisades Elementary School in Douglas County woke up on Monday morning and discovered a burglary. Now, the school building itself wasn't the target. Instead, somebody broke into the detached shop behind the school and made off with an estimated $5,000 worth of tools and maintenance equipment. The crime happened late Sunday night, and Douglas County Undersheriff Tyler Calley says school security cameras caught images of a smaller, older blue pickup leaving the scene shortly after 10 p.m. on Sunday, but there's little other information on the suspects. That's about all they know. The school at 1114 Palisades Road serves the Moses Cooley community. They have a couple of classrooms, 3 teachers, and a current class of 29 students from pre-kindergarten through 6th grade. Calley says school officials are still compiling an inventory of all the items that were taken in that burglary. The Chinese national charged with operating an illicit marijuana growing operation near Orondo faces a possible trial date in January. 51-year-old Yayu Wu of Renton is charged with unlawful production of cannabis and maintaining a drug property for allegedly growing more than 3,000 unlicensed cannabis plants on an orchard property just north of Orondo. Investigators with the Columbia River Drug Task Force raided the site back on October 22nd. They said it appears to be part of an international criminal operation based in China. Wu was so far the only person arrested in the case. Douglas County Judge Brian Huber last week set his trial date for January 14th, although that is likely to change. They usually do. All 3,000 cannabis plants were destroyed after their seizure by police. The Chelan-Douglas Health District says its Nurse Family Partnership Program has outperformed all similar programs in our state. NFP programs pair a visiting nurse with first-time families in need, providing support from pregnancy through the child's second birthday. The Health District's program has served 211 families in the valley since it launched in 2019. In a recent scoring of all 13 NFP sites in our state, the Chelan-Douglas program received the highest program fidelity score of all, meaning it meets or exceeds all measures for achieving positive outcomes. National research has found such programs helps reduce medical costs as well as keeping families and their babies healthy. And the city of Chelan says it has made progress towards securing a permanent indoor location for their post office. For a while now, they've been operating the post office out of a trailer, a mobile unit. They've been doing that since March. The original post office building is undergoing renovations. According to a press release from the city, Postmaster Randy Coppell and Mayor Aaron McCardle have identified a new unspecified location in the downtown area. The city says collaboration between local, state, and federal partners has recently renewed, and they gave credit to U.S. Representative Kim Schreier, who represents, of course, the 8th District, including Chelan, for helping accelerate the leasing process. The city will share more information as timelines are finalized. But the news has been finalized, at least for this Wednesday, for me, but we still got work to do. Thank goodness we have people in the newsroom who know what they're doing. I'm not among them. The news, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock tonight. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, the NCW Life Evening News. Find out what's going on in the Wenatchee Valley and North Central Washington with the news. Grant Olson with weather. Eric Granstrom with sports. Again, on television, 5, 6, and 10. We are on Roku. We are on Apple TV. We're on Netflix. We're not on Netflix. And don't forget, our newscast will be up and running on our YouTube page and on our homepage, ncwlife.com. News tips, news at ncwlife.com. Sports is next. You're watching, I hope still, a Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular, family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. Warm up with one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes. And make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCW Life. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCW Life channel.
When flooding hit Serve Wenatchee, their office in Fresh Hope Market were devastated. But their mission to help prevent homelessness in this valley hasn't stopped, and neither will we. I'm Todd McLaughlin, General Manager at Apple Valley Honda. Now through the end of the year, we're donating $25 to Serve Wenatchee every time someone takes a test drive. And if you happen to buy a vehicle, we'll give an additional $100 in your name. Because when our neighbors are in need, this community steps up, and we're proud to be part of that.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
Sports at 23 minutes after the hour. The Seattle Kraken back in action tonight at Climate Pledge Arena. The San Jose Sharks visiting the Emerald City tonight at 7 o'clock. Seattle, after 12 games, is 6-2-4. That's their best 12-game start in franchise history, and they're undefeated against the Pacific Division. They're 3-0-0. San Jose, they are 4-6-3 overall, and they are 0-1-2 against the Pacific Division. The Sharks have allowed 52 goals. They've only scored 42. So they've been struggling. Puck drops at 7 o'clock tonight on both King and Kong. Now I want to climb to the top of the Empire State Building. Seahawks have added a wide receiver just before yesterday's NFL trade deadline, and apparently he's pretty good. Welcome Rashid Shaheed to the Emerald City. He's coming to the Seahawks from the Saints in exchange for a 4th and 6th round draft pick in 2026. Shaheed has 44 receptions, 499 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. The Saints are 1-8, so they were sellers during the trade deadline. Coming off a dominant performance against Washington on Sunday, Seahawks will take on the Arizona Cardinals this Sunday at Lumen Field. Coach Mike McDonald was asked if he was surprised at the play of quarterback Sam Darnold so far this season.
Yeah, I don't think we had expectations. We have a vision for what we felt like he could do, and it's a pretty big vision. How he's playing right now, and he's doing a great job. But the things that we thought he could do, he's definitely doing that, and probably then some. I mean, we brought him in to be our quarterback, be a leader, win games, be efficient. I mean, all those things he's doing.
Jackson Smith-Njigba may be the best receiver in the National Football League right now. I mean, he leads the league in receptions. That means you're pretty good. Coach McDonald says he provides a challenge in a lot of ways for defenses.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think there's different mechanisms based off of the defensive systems you're in that teams can get to take receivers away based on the situation. first give credit to our offensive coaches for moving him around and making him a moving target. But if you're going to spend a lot of resources on making sure he doesn't catch the ball, then our guys are showing that they can take advantage of those opportunities and those one-on-ones, and Sam can deliver the ball to him. So it's great. It's great. Something that we're going to still have to take advantage. I know if we were game planning against us, that would be one of our top priorities, is taking care of Jax, and I'm sure the teams are thinking the same thing. So that's something we need to be taking into account moving forward.
Defensively, rookie Nick Emanawari continues to impress, and Coach McDonald says, no surprise there.
Yeah, well, the play on the perimeter was a play we expect him to make. I mean, one of the reasons we have him in that position is so he can be a factor on the perimeter screen game and the perimeter run game, and he continues to make those plays. And when you can eliminate those plays offensively, it narrows their menu, and that's really helpful. But that was a tremendous play, and that's something that we're going to want to encourage him to still do. Like his body position when he strikes, his hand placement, all those things, we expect him to keep improving, and I know he'll put the work in and do it, and we have a plan for that. In terms of him and Spoon, I'd say the number one thing is just the energy those guys bring to the table, competitiveness. Where they're playing, it really right now depends on our secondary depth and how many corners we have up. But I think the cool thing is there is some flexibility, and Nick's shown the capacity to handle multiple positions, which is exciting, and it's showing us that we can keep giving them new responsibilities.
Hawks and Cardinals again coming up on Sunday. Well, the Wenatchee Wild are fresh off a 1-1 weekend. They won on Saturday. They beat Saskatoon 3-2 in overtime. Then on Sunday they lost to Kamloops. The final there was 6-2. Austin Drade stopped by this very program yesterday, so I'm told, and he told me the defense deserves a bunch of credit for Saturday's victory.
I thought our defense did a great job on Saturday night all the way through. Certainly that first 45 minutes. They gave up just the one goal at the start of the game, about 5 minutes or so left in the first period. But no, it was a great effort. Tobias did an outstanding job in net, as he always does. We were a little choppy, I think, getting over the blue line. Had some great rushes over the red line. Couldn't get it over the blue line for the first period. And one thing that I think both teams really picked up on, I think both teams really read the passing patterns really well. You saw a couple teams that wanted to throw it across the ice, go backdoor, go weak side, and you get sticks in the passing lane. You get guys who kind of figure out where those passes are going. You jump in front, middle of the ice, you cut it off, and you send it the other way. So I think the defenses did a good job of reading the game on Saturday night, and I think that was a big reason why we went to the first 5 minutes of the third period, still 1-0.
Back-to-back home games this weekend, Friday and Saturday. A couple of good teams coming to town. Austin told me the Wild have a challenge this weekend.
Yeah, we got some good competition coming in. Portland has been one of the top teams in a really good U.S. division all the way through, and Prince George has kept pace pretty well in the BC division. So we've got a couple tough tasks coming at us. Some great goaltending on both sides, veteran goaltending on both sides. So going to have to take advantage of the opportunities this group gets the next couple nights and in front of a couple big crowds.
Big crowds. It is Military Appreciation Weekend at the Town Toyota Center, both Friday and Saturday. All right, prep. Everybody is now in the postseason. Let's start out with volleyball. Take a look at the results yesterday in the District 5 1B tournament at Waterville. Soap Lake got past Aniat. Waterville Mansfield took care of Pateros. Waterville, Mansfield, and Soap Lake will play for the championship in the Chelan Community Gym tonight. Both teams, Waterville, Mansfield, and Soap Lake, are going to go to state, regardless of the outcome. Before that, at 5 o'clock, Aniat will take on Pateros. The winner of that match moves on to state. The loser, their season comes to an end. Prep soccer scores in the District 5 and 6 combined 1A tournament. Cascade eliminated Zilla. No problems there, 7-0. They had to go to penalty kick shootouts, but while Luke eliminated Royal 1-0. And in the big schools, the District 5 4-in playing games, in the 4A division, Moses Lake eliminated West Valley, and you saw the other one. Prep girls soccer schedule is tonight at the Apple Bowl. Okanagan gets things going. They'll take on Cle Elum at 6 o'clock, followed by Highland and Brewster at 8 o'clock. Because they combine the divisions in girls soccer for the state tournament, it's both 1B and 2B. Unlike the other schools, the bigger schools, in the bigger schools, if you lose in the postseason, you're out. But all of those teams that you see there, win or lose, still can advance to state. It's a big tournament, and those are just some of the games that people are playing. Happy National Donut Day today. There's actually 2 National Donut Days. It depends on how you spell donut. Donut without the O-U-G-H-T, that National Donut Day is in June. This National Donut Day is donut spelled D-O-U-G-H-H-O-U-T. That's so any excuse to celebrate National Donut Day is fine by me. Who invented the donut? Nobody knows. The first mention of a donut came from Washington Irving, who in the 1803 or 1804 published a book about the history of New York City, and that's the first literary reference to donuts. Keep in mind that Washington Irving's book, The History of New York, which was published in 1803, is almost entirely fictional. He made it up. I mean, there was no Rip Van Winkle, but in any event, any excuse to scarf down a donut. Donuts. Today in history, we're doing them all week long. Presidential elections. And the election of, this was a bizarre election. The 1872 presidential election held on November 5th on this date. Ulysses S. Grant, running for re-election, defeats the other Republican nominee. That's right, there were 2 Republicans running for the presidency that year, no Democrat. Horace Greeley. Final electoral count. U.S. Grant, President of the United States, 286 electoral votes. Horace Greeley, none. Well, how did this happen? Horace Greeley actually won 66 electoral votes in the 1872 presidential election, and then he died. And since he died before the Electoral College could meet to officially cast their votes, those delegates pledged to Horace Greeley were free to vote for whomever they wanted, and they decided not to vote for anybody. That's how Grant won in a shutout. That was the 1872 presidential election. This was a crazy one of the biggest ones ever. The 1912 presidential election. 3 people who would either be president or already were president were in a dogfight. Woodrow Wilson, the Democrat, William Howard Taft, the Republican, and Teddy Roosevelt running as a progressive or bull moose candidate. Woodrow Wilson won. Teddy Roosevelt remains, to this day, the only third-party presidential candidate to finish better than third in either the popular or the electoral vote. This was also a very bitterly contested contest. Woodrow Wilson becomes just one of 2 Democrats to serve as president between the Civil War and the Great Depression. Maybe William Howard Taft, who was running for re-election and finished third, probably realized something might be up because his vice president, his running mate, Jim Sherman, died 5 days before the election. So on election day in 1912, Taft didn't even have a running mate. By the way, Theodore Roosevelt did very good, but he did win. Woodrow Wilson pulls it off on this date in 1912. The 1940 presidential election, FBR on an unprecedented third term. It was a little closer. Wendell Willkie of Indiana gave him a pretty good run, but in the end, FDR pulled it off an unprecedented third term. He beats Wendell Willkie of Indiana to win the final electoral college, 449 to 82. But it was a little bit different here. In Chelan County, Wendell Willkie, the Republican, got 52% of the vote, 47% for Roosevelt. Roosevelt won Douglas County by 13 votes. The 1968 presidential election. Experts say if it had gone another couple of weeks, Nixon might have lost to Hubert Humphrey, but he didn't. Richard Nixon completes his political comeback by defeating the sitting vice president to become the 37th president of the United States. Alabama Governor George Wallace ran on the American Independent ticket. He won the 5 states in the Deep South. He got 46 electoral votes. The 1968 presidential election was the last time a third-party candidate got electoral votes. Nixon easily won Chelan County and easily won Douglas County. And the presidential election that nobody cared about, the 1996 presidential election. The thing that stands out about this is the national turnout was 49%. 49% of the registered voters actually bothered to go to the polls on November 5th, 1996. Bill Clinton easily defeats Bob Dole for re-election. Clinton was the first Democrat to win re-election to the presidency since FDR, and the first Southern Democrat to be re-elected since Andrew Jackson in 1832. Bob Dole easily won Chelan and Douglas counties. 35 minutes after the hour. It's all heavenly birthdays. You remember her as Lovey Howell. Natalie Schaefer on Gilligan's Island. She was so secretive about her age, even her husband during their marriage had no idea the year she was born. In her contract with Sherwood Schwartz, the producer of Gilligan's Island, she insisted no close-ups because people might figure out how old I really am. For a long time, until she died, everybody thought she was born in 1912. Natalie Schaefer was born in 1900, and nobody knew it until after she died. Now, she did make a lot of money as an actress, but she took the money that she did make, heavily invested in Southern California real estate, and made a lot of money. And for the last 5 or 6 years of her life, her live-in caretaker, Natalie Schaefer's live-in caretaker, was Dawn Wells, who played Mary Ann. Vivien Leigh, hard to believe this, a British actress and a darn good one, married to Laurence Olivier. Vivien Leigh was born in the state in 1913. She won 2 Academy Awards for Best Actress. She's British, and she won the 2 Academy Awards for playing Americans in Gone with the Wind and A Streetcar Named Desire. Vivien Leigh, born in the state in 1913, and the legendary Bill Walton, born in the state in 1952. We lost Bill a couple of years ago. For Heat and Air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsors for Heat and Air. Call Alpine Air. Thanks for having them on board. They're good folks. I like them, too. They're good folks. I like Alpine Air. We got an opinion from Mike Mad Dog McNaughty coming up, and then Nick Khalil is the conductor and the musical director of the Wenatchee Valley Symphony Orchestra, and his cohort is Anton Zotoff, who does everything else. That conversation when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
NCW Life Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
Welcome to Mountain Chick Floral, your go-to flower and plant shop in downtown Wenatchee. Explore their wide variety of unusual and fun plants. And when you buy a plant in a container, they'll pot it up for you absolutely free. Birthday or weddings, they'll create the perfect floral arrangement for you. Brighten up your office with fresh blooms delivered to your door or business. Ask about floral subscriptions. Visit Mountain Chick Floral today, where every occasion is a reason to celebrate with flowers.
This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. While fascism can be difficult to define precisely, scholars generally agree that there are 5 core principles that characterize fascist movements. These exclude extreme nationalism, which is prioritizing the nation above all else, and creating a scapegoat enemy, such as immigrants. Second, authoritarianism, an autocratic government led by a dictatorial leader. Third, then there's militarism, using the military to intimidate and suppress political opponents. Fourth, totalitarianism, seeking total control over all aspects of society, not just politics, as expressed in the heretical doctrine of the Christian nationalist movements of the Seven Mountains Mandate. And lastly, subordination of individual interests to the state by rejection of individual rights such as free speech. Huh. Does any of this sound familiar? This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Caught in a conflict? Family, workplace, neighbor, business, housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
BC Outdoor Sport Fishing TV, Season 14. Join your host Mike Mitchell and his special guests as they explore some of the most exciting fisheries BC has to offer. BC Outdoors Sport Fishing TV. Check your listings for airtimes.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. I've been helping people for nearly a decade understand their Medicare options. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand coverage options so you can feel confident in your Medicare decision. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or see me at my office in Wenatchee with easy parking and entrance.
Welcome back to the program. Man, it was a long time getting this interview together with these two gentlemen to my immediate right. It took a lot of emails and phone calls, and I don't feel well, and we're smoked out, and we're sold out, and this, that, and the other thing. But by golly, we're back to talk to Nick Khalil and a new friend of the program to talk about the Wenatchee Valley Symphony Orchestra, well into their, believe it or not, 79th season. Up next will be the Nutcracker from Peter Tchaikovsky. You can't go wrong with good material, a huge sell as always. It's my good friend Nick Khalil back again, the conductor and the musical director. And you are new to the program, Anton. Introduce yourself to our television family, bud.
Yes, my name is Anton Zotov. I'm a new executive director of the Wenatchee Valley Symphony Orchestra. Well, and this is my first year. It's been already very exciting, couple of months. Getting to know people, learning about the community, about the supporters of the orchestra, and it's just thrilling, I would say so. Yeah, and our first opening concert was amazing, with concerts for kids. It was really exciting to see all the kids in the halls. So yes, and now we are sold out for the Star Wars concert, so it brings that level of anticipation very high.
Do you get that? You get a certain lift when you see kids enjoying classical music, getting it, understanding it, enveloping themselves in the sound and the beauty of classical music that they might not even think about?
Yes, of course, because this is a part of our mission, to educate, and you start with the early years. And there were a couple of teachers that came to me during those concerts, and they told me that pretty much 90% of children never attended this kind of performances before. They never saw a symphony orchestra. They've never been to a large gathering like that. And so I saw their eyes. I mean, it's a thing. You know? So of course it gives you a sense of purpose. It inspires you to put such concerts again next year and do more things like that.
Has it been your experience, Nick, that people take up an instrument that is associated with classical music as a young person and never put it down, as opposed to being a 35-year-old plumber and a father of 3?
That's true. Yeah, the public schools have those petting zoos where they bring out all the instruments, the string instruments, the brass instruments, and they get a chance to try these different things, and they are assigned one once they pick one, and they usually carry that through the year. But I have to comment about this show that we just did. We played to 1,500 people, this Tchaikovsky Discovers America concert, and the kids were the rowdiest. You know, I felt like a rock star. You know, I got my selfie out, and everyone was screaming at the concert. After every single performance, every piece, they were on their feet and clapping. It was really a wonderful experience.
Why, when budget cuts come in education departments, they cut arts, specifically music, first? That drives me nuts.
Yes.
Why is that?
We have to get the A in STEM. So this is, I'm really a proponent into STEAM, you know, adding the arts to this mandate from the federal system that we should be teaching our students music, painting, visual arts, singing. I think this is a very important component of a young person's upbringing.
Unlocking talents that they might not know they have.
Exactly. Well, collaboration, discipline, teamwork, striving, making mistakes and persisting, grit. I think these are all the same things that we can find in music.
Well, I'm glad it went well. And of course, you can't go wrong with the good material of Tchaikovsky. And now the Nutcracker is up next for the holidays. Again, with I believe Fabulous Feet is teaming up with you guys again.
Yes, and we're fresh off a sold-out Star Wars concert, so we're on a high. And here we are going into what usually is 5 performances of Nutcracker. We're adding a 6th performance of the Nutcracker because of how popular this has become. It's so hard to get tickets, and it's selling out so fast, and it's just a visual feast. I have to really compliment Melissa on her direction and her training and the entertainment value of the Nutcracker. It's a great tradition.
Melissa Miller-Port, is she could probably do this in her sleep. She is the perfect example, and Anton can speak of this as well, of somebody who's enthusiastic about dance, but disciplined enough to get the kids to pay attention and do what they need to do, while at the same time enjoying themselves.
Yes, and you would watch her and you can tell that she has a very old school kind of strong approach to training her dancers, and they appreciate that because they are a top performing dance studio.
Nick, of course, is the conductor and the musical director. Anton does everything that Nick doesn't have to worry about, so Nick can concentrate on the music. Anton, in many respects, has a more difficult job, does he not? I'll let you speak to that, Nick.
Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't want to do it.
This is a very thankless position because of all the hats you have to have, all the pots and dishes that you have in the air spinning, and no kind of overt recognition for this. So I'm very, very thankful to have Anton on our team, and what he's done in the short time that he's been here has been miraculous.
And he's a musician.
He's a musician.
So he gets it.
He gets it.
From the inside.
You know, I think we're all in our right positions and right roles because, you know, without Nick, without his programming, without his artistic leadership, it would be pointless to be an executive director. Without musicians that are performing with us, without volunteers, that would not be possible. And of course, all the other people who are involved in production of the concerts. So yes, it is a job that requires a lot of puzzle pieces to be put together, but it also, I always consider it as a teamwork, as a collaboration between all those parties. It only works that way.
You're right. You're exactly right. And it should be pointed out that outside of the Nutcracker and the Pink Martini shows, which are done on a regular basis, everything else is always something new.
Yes.
Every concert year is something entirely different from the year before, with the 2 exceptions I already mentioned. So how did you come up with this year's repertoire as far as this is what we're going to play this year as selected by Nick Lee?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite processes, and this is something I do in private. It usually happens you know, around January, where I think, okay, what can our orchestra do? Which guest artists will we want to bring? What kind of repertoire? What kind of genres? What does this community really enjoy? What would be entertaining? What would be edifying? What would be kind of thought-provoking? And so I try, in the very few concerts that we do in a year, we only do 4 core concerts a year, is to try to come up with some innovation, something that's kind of forward-thinking in each of those concerts that I want to kind of spark interest in our audience.
Well, picking Beethoven because next year, or 2 years from now, will be the 200th year since Beethoven died. That's kind of a no-brainer.
Yes.
And you can't go wrong with Ludwig, and that's some good stuff there.
Yes. I mean, I've seen the stats. The #1 composer played by all professional orchestras is Beethoven.
So do you choose the material and say, all right, orchestra, learn it, learn your parts, or do you play to the strengths of your individual musicians?
And just like I look at my team, or a coach might look at their team and say, okay, I got a great kicker, I got a good quarterback, I choose my plays based on our strengths. Same thing here, as I'm looking at who are our strengths and who should we like uplift, and then I go for that.
The Star Wars saga is on the 25th. It's a couple days before that as we tape this. You're getting ready to do some rehearsal. It's on a Tuesday. Rehearsal, you made a mistake, start again. At what point during the process leading up to the 25th of October where the orchestra plays the piece straight through, mistake or no mistake, to get ready for the big night on the 25th?
That's right. Right now we're in that breakdown kind of a situation where I'm really stopping often to correct and to diagnose and to make things better. But Saturday morning at our dress rehearsal is a time where we do the whole thing straight through to really understand, okay, how's our endurance? You know, can we just get past our mistakes if we maybe make one of those? Do this as a mock performance.
Do you occasionally have an individual musician who will stop himself and say, Nick, I blew that one, I missed a note, but if you don't catch it, they won't say anything?
Quite the opposite, actually. They will challenge me to hear it, right. Otherwise they will hide.
You're both pianists. You've since forgiven your parents for forcing you to take piano lessons, which is good for you. Yeah. When you're not working as a professional conductor and a musical director, and I'll ask both of you, what do you listen to just for pleasure? Classical music for pleasure, just to enjoy the art that is classical music. What do you listen to?
Yeah, right now I'm listening to movie soundtracks, and so not only am I listening to John Williams, I'm listening to Max Richter, I'm listening to Hans Zimmer, because these composers have very, very interesting soundscapes that we've never heard before. Some electronic music, some synthesized music, the bending of pitches, more atmospheric, dramatic music. That we don't often see on a classical music stage. So I've been really interested in soundtracks.
Same question for you, Anton. What do you listen to just for pleasure?
For pleasure? EDM music, especially when I'm driving somewhere in nature, in my car. I like that. In fact, I got into EDM music about 3 or 4 years ago, when I got a car with an old-fashioned CD player with 6 CDs stacked in, and I started buying those.
So the previous owner left him in the CD player?
No, no. I just got it there, and I started purchasing CDs. I've never done it before. So, but anyways, it's yes, I like electronic dance music. I like our Washington-based Odessa. I like Armin van Buuren from Europe, stuff like that. I enjoy different kinds of genres. I do enjoy some of pop music, something like Lana Del Rey, Lykke Li, some of Oliver Arnalds, that's from Norway, more of a neoclassical composer and artist. So I like jazz. I like attending opera.
So essentially what I'm getting out of you is if it's good, you like it.
Yeah. Yes. If it's unique, I like it.
Let's hear it from music snobs like the three of us.
Yeah, if it's something valuable, whether it's lyrics, music, performance,
I learned a long time ago you can't run a record store and make a profit on your own good taste. No. Sometimes you have to sell albums and CDs that you wouldn't listen to in 1,000 years. The Nutcracker, the 11th through the 14th, as Dick said, extra shows this year. Pete Martini will sell out the 24th and the 25th of next year. America the Beautiful, obviously, that's a self-explanatory, and then their tribute to Beethoven in April, which closes out the season. Last question for you, Nick, it's important. Musicians come, musicians go. What is your needs and your wants from an orchestral leader standpoint to keep this incredible organization up and running?
Yeah, we hold auditions every year, and I think in terms of our local musicians, what we call seated musicians, we're at our highest membership, which is remarkable. And we're drawing from Yakima, we're drawing from Chelan, we're drawing from Moses Lake. We could use some more violas. So if you're a violist out there, give me a call.
I find it amazing when I go to the shows and I look out and I look into the third row on the right and I go, that's my dentist, and he's playing an oboe. Who the hell thought that?
Exactly.
Nick, Kali, it's good to see you. Anton, thanks for taking some time out. I've always appreciated visiting with you guys. Let's do this again real soon.
Hey, thank
you very much.
All right, and I'm serious. Nutcracker, Pete Martini, America the Beautiful, the Beethoven Troupe, they're going to sell out. Don't dink around. Wenatchee's a last second town. We all know that. You're not going to be able to get up and just buy a ticket and walk in. Ain't going to happen because we got talent here. And we got Anton and Nick, who kind of is the glue that holds the whole thing together. Have a good rehearsal tonight. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you very much.
No three putts.
Okay, all right.
Promise me. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Merry Maids can clean your entire home, business, or vacation rental from top to bottom, inside and out. Merry Maids will even take care of cleaning your carpets, and they can pressure wash your home. Merry Maids has thousands of happy customers. They've been cleaning homes and businesses in our valley for over 25 years. Check out their glowing reviews at merrymaidesofwenatchee.com and call the cleaning experts, Merry Maids, to get your free estimate. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. So relax, it's done.
No, that is not Aberdeen behind us. That is the Wenatchee Valley. It started raining about 8:30 last night, and it has not stopped. A couple of times this morning, it looked like it was going to finally come to an end, and then it picks back up again. We've had over a half an inch of rain since 8:30 last night, so in less than 12 hours, over a half an inch of rain. Now, for us, that's a lot of rain, and we're not done yet. Now, for you folks who are traveling the mountain passes this weekend, things could get a little dicey depending on what pass you're taking. Now, the North Cascades Highway, Washington Pass, they're going to get hammered pretty good today and tomorrow combined, about 5 to 7 inches of snow, and then some big-time snow Thursday night because we're going to have big-time rain Thursday night. I would not be surprised by the time Friday mid to late afternoon the DOT says, out of heck with it, and just shuts down the North Cascades Highway for the year. Stevens Pass could get a little bit of snow Thursday afternoon and into Friday morning, 2 to 5 inches of snow. I don't think there's anything we can handle. Anything below 4,000 feet, Stevens, and because Blewett is in the shadow, they're not going to get much snow at all. You'll be okay there, but could get a little dicey on Stevens Pass. Rain back again. It's going to taper off a little bit, and then finally by about, we think, noon or 1 o'clock, we'll be done with the rain for the day today, but we've had plenty. We'll top off at 50. Rain returns tonight. Your rain timeline is rain till about 10 or 11 o'clock this morning. Then we'll be fairly dry from 10 to about 5, and then light rain overnight tonight, and then some pretty significant rain on Thursday night into Friday. By Friday about 10 a.m., we'll be done with the rain. The clouds will burn up, the fog will burn off, and we'll have sunshine for the weekend, and temperatures about where there should be. Stay dry, be good. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.